There is so much inconsistency in terms of the way different countries are approaching the issue of regulation in terms of private security companies. We also believe that there is not enough oversight. These companies need to be properly oversighted. We think that it's not done. We feel that there are a lot of countries that are not following the ECOWAS framework in terms of this. We also think that there is a need to prove more synergy and coordination. That is also not happening. So we think that this is actually going to help us because, as you know, it's almost like some of the complaints that you have in the formal or public security agencies. You are already now beginning to see some bit of it in the private security providers. And I think that for us to really have proper reform within the security sector and proper governance of the security sector, we need a synergy between the informal and the formal. We need a synergy between the public security providers and the private security providers. It can't be disjointed as some of that is happening. So if you talk about vigilantes, how are vigilantes being coordinated? How are they being oversighted and things like that? And so that synergy needs to be made to happen. The major drive in terms of this work is that we want, because you can't do much without security. So you need to drive security, you need to, because that's connected to development. And Nigeria sits in a position where we have a lot of porous borders within the West African region. So you can't say, okay, I'm okay, I will only think about my country. No, you must look at what are other things happening within the sub-region, because what happens within the sub-region also affects you as a country. So it's important that we deal with that, including the fact that we know that all this free movement of goods and persons. So let's make sure that we invest in those processes, and that's why this is all about.
The issue of security has become very important in our lives, and especially in West Africa and the Sahel, we have heightened security challenges. We start from home here in Nigeria. We have the northeast boiling with Boko Haram crisis. We have the banditry issues and other crimes in the northwest. Almost every other part of Nigeria will have one form of disturbance. The other countries in West Africa are not immune to it. In fact, some of the crises we have in Nigeria spill over from other countries into our side. The Sahel is particularly very, very hot right now. So there is the need to actually look at the issues of security. What are those other companies and hands that can take on crimes within cities and other sundry crimes, so as to free the armed forces of the various countries to actually tackle the issues of terrorism within the sub-region. In this regard, there are a lot of gaps that have been noticed in the study that has been done. Different countries have different regulations. The issue of training, the issue of use of weapons by private security companies. And one of the gaps we have also noticed is also the fact that some of these companies don't even know the international norms that guide the establishment of a private sector and what are the best practices expected of them. So this report is expected to be validated in the next 2 days, inputs made, and I'm sure the organizers will present it to ECOWAS and it will present to member states so that we'll have a harmonized code of conduct in the entire West Africa on how to engage private security companies.
I think you have, at the end you have to enhance the good capacity of security companies, police and military. You have to foster good cooperation among security actors, and you also have to ensure that there is a respect of human rights, And I think the most important thing is also trust building between citizens and security forces.